Good afternoon, YouTube. DutyRon back here again with another video, and today we have some breaking news in the case of the missing boy, 11-year-old Gannon Stauch. We have an arrest in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area. His stepmom has been arrested and charged with murder first degree. It's not a lot of good information or good news that I have to tell you. From a law enforcement perspective, and as a law enforcement professional for over 20 years, when they arrest somebody for murder first degree, they're not just placing handcuffs on somebody based on suspicion. So this is either a recovery of this boy's body or some really super substantial evidence. I have to say, it's in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I am, that they have his body recovered, and that's what's the announcement at 2 o'clock. In about 5 minutes, there's going to be a news conference in Colorado. All the major news outlets are going to cover it, a live news broadcast, where they're going to have breaking news with substantial evidence coming forward in regards. You can't have first degree, you can't charge somebody with murder without a body unless there is substantial evidence. So again, what we're looking at here is a news conference going to come out of the Colorado area. The sheriff's office there has already briefed the news. Fox 31 is covering it. News 13 over in Colorado is going to have it live. We're going to be bracing ourselves for some news that we probably don't want to hear. So thank you so much for everyone joining. My name is DutyRon. As you know, I am a retired New York City police detective. I worked 20 plus years in the New York City Police Department, and I am retired, and I do bring true crime stories here to everyone, and we do cover a lot of cases. I did not cover any of this case. Apparently the stepmother was arrested today outside of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Thank you, Jenny, for thanking me, Ginger Lock's mom, Meg Lowe, all the channel members, and my people who subscribe to this channel and always show up when I go live. I want to say a special thank you to you guys. I'm just waiting for this press conference to set off. And again, it is really, thank you, Miss Demeanor. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining. I am waiting for any kind of update right now. And they were talking about 12 noon. It's 2 o'clock Eastern. All the major news, I have it queued up on my phone. We will listen to what the sheriff has to say. And I am predicting that they have a body recovered, that they will be able to bring this boy home and have a proper burial for him. And I think that's what's going to be reported. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So that is my gut instinct on this as a law enforcement professional. So she probably went on the run, but I don't know why she's in South Carolina. But she probably went on the run because there was suspicion that, you know, she was guilty, or she was involved in this in some way. I watched an interview with her, and she said that she saw him riding on a bicycle going to one of his friend's house. This was on the 27th of January. And what I saw from that story, something didn't sound right. But, you know, there was 678 plus leads that came into the sheriff's office over in Colorado. So they were working on around 600 to 700 different leads coming out of the Colorado area. And as a retired law enforcement professional, I could tell you, when detectives are working on this kind of case, when you get that many leads and you have to follow up on them, it's an exhausting process. These guys are working night and day to try to bring this little 11-year-old boy home to his family. And I would have liked to have heard that, you know, he was found and brought home. But when you hear murder first degree charges, automatically I shift to the worst case scenario. Then the worst case scenario is a body recovered and murder first degree charged. They have substantial evidence to make this type of statement. So they're waiting right now for live news broadcasts. Local programs are waiting to hear from the sheriff's office. I have the sheriff's Twitter page here up, and I'm just going to access that now and see if there's anything different, if anything, if there's anything new on the sheriff's webpage, Twitter account. Actually, let me just see. Stand by. Let's see if there's anything updated. Sheriff's Office will be holding the press conference. This is the same thing. EPC Sheriff's Office, their official Twitter reads, the Sheriff's Office will be holding a press conference today, 12 noon at the Centennial Hall located at 200 South Cascade Avenue in Colorado Springs to announce a major development in the Gannon Stauch case. So this is their Twitter feed. When police or sheriff's department talk about a major development, when you have somebody in custody on murder first degree charges, you have to have substantial evidence. So I'm just waiting for the audio to come live. I will bring you the audio, and it looks like we're going to get something coming through here now. Stand by, folks. Wow, that's pretty prompt. If that's what's going on, that's pretty prompt right there. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to see what. I'm gonna listen to what the sheriff has to say. I have a little mic, and I'll listen to it myself, and then I will let you guys. I'll report it back. It didn't start on my end. I'm watching a commercial right now. Okay.
Requests for privacy as they begin to absorb and process the devastating news they have received today. Sheriff Elder?
Can you guys hear the audio?
Welcome, everybody. Today marks 5 weeks since the investigation into the disappearance of Gannon Stauch. We're holding the press conference to update you on some significant developments. While we've yet to locate Gannon, this morning, just after 8 o'clock a.m. East Coast time, Letecia Stauch was taken into custody in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina without incident by law
Okay, he's saying that they have not recovered him.
The Pasco County Sheriff's Office, the Denver and Columbia divisions of the FBI, the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina Police Department, the Horry County, South Carolina Police Department, and Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
Letecia will be held without bond.
All right.
In the J. Reuben Long
All right. So.
Center in Horry County, South Carolina, where she will remain.
So option 2 is what I said. They have substantial evidence. They're going to have substantial evidence to have a murder first degree charge.
Child under 12 years of age by a person in a position of trust. Child abuse resulting in death. Tampering with a deceased human body and tampering with physical evidence.
Oh wait.
I cannot stress enough.
He said we haven't recovered his body.
This has been for Gannon's family.
But wait a minute.
Like Jackie said, they've provided a written statement, but they will not, and they won't be providing any interviews at this time. And I ask that you protect their privacy. This has been a rapidly developing and highly complex investigation, and it underscores the importance of teamwork.
Right, so this is contradictory because he said that they had no. He said they didn't make a recovery, but they probably know where he is. They're showing crime scene, taking out evidence out of a home. All right, this case is done. It's done. Hi, B. Lady Apiary. Thank you so much for joining. First degree murder is murder with intent.
The safety of the citizens of this community is the top priority to all of us standing before you today. We'd like to thank the thousands of members of this community for your compassion.
It's not known at this time about the blood stain.
Your generosity and your support.
Okay, I'm going to lower it so you guys can hear me. All right. I have to say that by him saying we haven't recovered the body yet, doesn't mean that they know where the body is. This means she could have dumped his body in a river. She could have, you know, I got to listen to a little bit more.
Will continue its work. These partners will remain steadfast and diligent until the conclusion and final prosecution of this case. We will not stop, and this investigation has only begun. Letecia's arrest photograph will be made available to the media as soon as we can following the
He's talking about the arrest photograph.
have the details. And now I will turn the microphone over to Lieutenant Mitch Mahalko.
All right, so it was a choppy live stream that I was just watching. It's not very clear.
We will not be going into detail about the information.
All right, no details.
Which ultimately resulted in the arrest of Letecia. But I can tell you that this has been a methodical, time-consuming, multi-state operation.
Yeah, they definitely found enough.
Working nearly around the clock to find Gannon. There have been thousands of hours of investigation.
He's talking about thousands of hours of investigation.
This includes large-scale searches, in addition to small, specific searches.
Yeah, they charged Michelle,
K9s.
Michelina. They charged first-degree murder.
Information has been developed that is helping us narrow our search.
Okay, although he says we have not found him, but information.
I believe Gannon is alive.
We do not believe Gannon is alive, but they got information. She probably fessed up to him that she killed him.
Over the coming weeks and possibly months, as we continue our relentless pursuit of justice for Gannon and his family. On behalf of the investigators and staff involved in this investigation, we would like to express
Tampering with evidence, that's discarding of a human body.
to the family and the friends of Gannon. The death of a child is something no parent should ever have to endure.
Yeah, the investigators did a great job.
It's not just been an investigation for us. This case has become very personal.
They said this case is not just an investigation, it's become very personal.
We will continue to work closely with the 4th Judicial District Attorney's Office.
Yeah, they're just waiting to recover his body, wherever it might be. Whether it's a lake, a river.
At this time, I'd like to turn this over to FBI Denver Division Special Agent in charge, Dean Phillips.
Thank you for being here today.
She will.
On behalf of the men and women of the FBI, all the special agents, investigative analysts, support staff, and our task force officers, we express our deepest condolences to the family, the friends, and the loved ones
Yeah.
of Gannon Stauch.
This is the FBI investigator.
To the press, I also ask that you give the family space and time.
Yeah, I mean, this comes full circle, you know. Stand against child abuse, you know, Thomas Valva, you know, here now Gannon, 11 years old, Thomas, young boy, you know, in the, you know, just starting their, you know, just getting their lives going. And you have some psychopath that decides to terminate this person's life. For what reason? What is the thought process? Is it, you know, we don't know, but at the end of the day, the people who do these types of vicious, vile things, they're demonic. These are people who, in my eyes, are monsters. You know, we're supposed to take care of our kids, whether they're ours or anybody else's. If I see a child in the street and I'm now a civilian just like the rest of us, and he needs help, he or she needs help, I'm going to help him. I'm going to call for a police or for an ambulance. You know, these are people who are going out of their way to, you know, inflict harm on some of our most defenseless humans. You know, children, they're defenseless. You know, it's horrible, horrible. So she's been arrested, charged with first-degree murder in Gannon Stauch's disappearance. And this FBI agent is actually getting broken up. His voice is crackling. This FBI agent that's speaking right now is actually being, you know, he's very emotional. You don't see this that often. So this is how invested they were in this investigation. So I tip my cap.
Gannon's disappearance being the result of foul play.
It's a foul play.
But we have no reason to believe information or intelligence indicating a threat to other children in the community. Thank you very much.
All right. So, the worst of the worst has come to fruition. You know, see, it said he's saying this is not the outcome here that anybody wanted.
To be able to present our community still alive and doing well. Unfortunately, that's not the situation. As you've heard, an arrest warrant was issued for first-degree murder of Gannon in this case. Unfortunately, we've had to get to know the family now as part of our prosecution family, and they'll be with us.
The family is right behind them in the background.
It's an unfortunate thing that we are here today. I do want to thank
Judy, thank you for coming in from Australia.
It's been amazing. John Cronin, who's the
So they're acknowledging all the special prosecutors and all the law enforcement that have been looking for this child for over a month. There's been search teams and investigators looking for him for over a month. So yes, we stand against child abuse. This is yet another horrific case of a child's life being cut short by a human being, somebody who was supposed to take care of his stepmom. So we're going to hear more about what happened going forward. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for joining. So this breaking news is not what we all wanted to hear. And at the same time, we have to understand that evil is out there and we need to be vigilant. And if you see something, say something. You need to keep your eyes open. You need to protect our children. Let me hear something.
This case has drawn the attention it has from across our community, and also across our country. But we want to do everything we can to make sure we achieve.
Excellent, Cindy. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It was my pleasure to do that. I feel that it's important to get the message out.
Anytime a child goes missing, it's natural for people to want to help out, and we encourage people, if you have credible tips, to still report those tips
terrible,
to the Sheriff's
terrible.
Department. We are going to continue this investigation, and really it's a two-pronged investigation.
Send me an email. I don't get involved or talk about that on a live stream. But send me an email or message me on any of social media, all one word, DutyRon. Message me on Twitter or Instagram with that. I will listen to anything. It's fine. So we do have a situation here, breaking news. The family is in the foreground, behind the people who are speaking. They're all visibly shaken. It looks like the father and mother, grandmother there. One of the sheriffs, an elderly sheriff gentleman, is probably the lead investigator in Colorado Springs. And it's a sad, sad situation. It's something that us law enforcement never want to bring this horrible news to the family. It's difficult, and you could see in each branch of the law enforcement, in each branches of the law enforcement, you could see how visibly shaken they are and how emotionally connected they are to this case. They've been working vigilantly for the past month or so, looking for this boy. So everybody's emotions are high in Colorado right now, but we do have an arrest. When prosecutors arrest somebody on murder first degree, there is, like I said before we started with the press conference, you have to have either a recovery of the body or substantial evidence that leads to foul play that the person is deceased. And in this case, I think what they received was substantial evidence, whether it's electronic evidence through text messaging, emails, or cell phones, or by a verbal confession from the stepmom that she in fact did kill him. But I'll tell you this: they're not saying they do not have his body. They did say that they do not have his body, but they are not saying that he is alive. So here's a statement. This is the mom.
Never thought I'd be standing here. It's a nightmare.
It's the mom.
I've had to put trust in the people I don't know. Today, I got the worst news.
Okay, Judy.
The best news.
Thank you for coming.
I Obviously, we know what the worst news is, but the best news is that justice will be served. And I'll make sure that justice is served because my boy did not deserve any of this that has happened to him.
She's wearing a shirt that says G-Man
So I
on it.
urge media one more time
A blue shirt with white
just to hold off on
says
questions
G-Man.
until we know that this person, the stepmom that I even trusted, that she will pay 100%
Terrible.
for this heinous thing she done.
Awful.
And I know that that's going to will be done. So I ask you guys, I beg and plead of you, if you've known or if you see this story, all of you have seen this story, please hold that very close to you. Because I want to live this earth knowing that justice will serve for my boy. And
Terrible.
I know that you've seen pictures, you've seen stories.
Heartbreaking.
You've seen my little man.
Kathy,
He
heartbreaking.
is truly my hero. And I'm gladly giving that to you guys too, that he can be your hero. I've heard stories of people that have not prayed in years, that have finally fell on their knees to pray.
Oh
I know
my
where
God.
son's at,
I can't.
without a shadow of a doubt. So many families have been brought closer together because of this. I know my boy is special, and I've told my people and my family and friends that Gannon has a testimony, that Gannon has a story. He's special. And this is his story. So make that story
It's heartbreaking to watch her cry.
magnificent
So upsetting.
who my child is. And I'm putting my trust into you guys to do that. So thank you for allowing Gannon to be your hero and sharing him with us.
Very, very heartbreaking. Very heartbreaking. All right, so I mean, that's about all I have for you guys. Murder first degree for the stepmom. They're gonna do a extradition from South Carolina. She'll be extradited from South Carolina to Colorado Springs, where she'll face prosecution, and they'll send out she'll get indicted. She'll, the charges will go before grand jury. She'll get her indictment, and then they'll move forward with either a trial, or if there's a complete confession, it'll just move straight forward to a sentencing. I don't think there's going to be much that she's going to be able to defend in regards to this case, but we'll see. Let's leave right now. Let's say prayers for Gannon and his family, his mom. You just heard his mom pouring her heart out to us on a press conference. Let's pray for, this family and give them strength. That's all right now. That's all we should be focusing on. All the questions about what, why, who, why, what, where, when, all of that should be in our pocket for a later date. So I feel strongly that we should send strength and prayers for this poor boy who is more than likely no longer with us, and the family, the way she was crying and the emotions that were shown here. It's just a matter of time before breaking news comes forward with a recovery of this poor little 11-year-old soul's body. So that's why everyone is so upset, because they got major news that nobody wanted to hear. We were all looking for a happy ending, and as time goes by with these missing person cases, more times than not, when a lot of time goes by, there's not a positive result to it. So the more time that goes on, the more chance that we have of, less than desirable results. And as the sheriff and the FBI spokesman said, this is not what any of us wanted to deliver to the family. This is not the news that we wanted to deliver to the family. And you heard the FBI lead agent he was broken up. He was broken up. He was upset. Michael B., good to see you. Thank you, Margie. Margie, thank you for coming. Jack's mom, all of my channel members, my Patreon, and my moderators, thank you to all of you. And I want to say, while I have you guys here, Stand Against Child Abuse. The walk that we did yesterday, me and my neighbor Diane, we went to the Thomas Valva walk. He also was murdered by his own father and stepmother on January 17th here in Long Island, New York. Thomas was just 8 years old, left freezing in 19-degree Fahrenheit temperatures in a garage with no bedding or sheets or jacket. He was just thrown out there and died of hypothermia, and perhaps we are speculating other circumstances surrounding his death. This is something that we never want to talk about, but unfortunately this is what is out there in our evil world. It's not just in America, it's throughout the world. So we don't like to speak about this stuff, but it is ever present and in our faces on a daily basis. And you could look through the news and look at past and present news articles and hear of child abuse in many different forms in all different parts of the world. So us as good human beings, we have to keep our eyes open, and we have to be the protectors of our children. We have to step up and get involved. If you hear some kid screaming or crying and it doesn't sound right, be that nosy person. And if somebody yells at you and says, well, mind your own business, then just say, I'd rather be safe than sorry, and make sure that this person is okay, whether it's a little young boy or girl, or if it's an elderly person or anybody with special needs or anything in between. I told you a story about my neighbor just the other day who was crying inside her house, and I went over to her sister who lives across the street, and I talked to her and I said, is everything all right with your sister? And she really thanked me up and down and explained to me a situation that's going on with her and her husband. Now, she didn't get mad at me for butting into her business. I was looking out for the well-being of her sister because I heard her crying. And again, that's just ingrained in me, not because I'm a retired law enforcement professional, but before I became a cop, that's what was in my soul, in my body. I was always willing to help people. Before I turned 26 and became a police officer, before I became a law enforcement professional, I always looked to help people. It's just something that I was born with. Some people like to mind their own business and turn their head the other way, or say, I got enough problems on my own. I can't get involved in this crap. But that's not how I am. And now here, even in my retirement, I heard her cry and I said, I can't not do something about it. Can't not do something about it. The stepmom was arrested and charged with murder first degree. Yeah, I know. I listened to a little bit of the audio from the presser. I listened to some of the audio, and the vibe that I'm getting, guys, if you want my opinion, the vibe that I'm getting is that they know that he is no longer with us, but they do not have his body recovered. But that's not to say that tonight, or in an hour from now, or in 10 hours from now, or tomorrow, that they'll have his body recovered. So thank you so much for coming in, Louis Fuller from the Philippines. Great to see you. So again, a special thank you to all the moderators in the stream. A special thank you to everybody for coming in. But this is breaking news. Gannon Stauch, 11-year-old boy out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. The stepmom was arrested on murder first degree in South Carolina. Outside of South Carolina, she was arrested and will be extradited to Colorado Springs in a very short period of time. I'm sure she will waive extradition hearing and be on the next either flight or pickup and being sent back in. Sorry about that. I mixed you up with somebody else. Great state of Texas, Louis Fuller from the great state of Texas. I got so many people, it's hard to keep track of everybody. Karen Wise, great to see you. So thank you so much for everybody coming on in and watching my replay from yesterday. I encourage you, if you haven't watched that replay, it was a justice walk for another small young victim, Thomas Valva, 8 years old, out of Valley Stream, New York. We did the justice walk yesterday. I live streamed the whole thing, and it is really a beautiful live stream. I watched that replay a couple of times, and I encourage you guys to go and watch it and leave positive messages, because I met Justina yesterday. I went to her home and I gave a donation to her from all of us, super chat money. I handed it to her in an envelope. It was cash, and I gave an Apple gift card for the boys so they can download, Apple stuff on their iPads for games and stuff. So that all came from all of us. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who have given super chat during the Thomas Valba broadcast that I've done, and I paid it forward and gave it specially to her before the walk. She welcomed me into her home. I actually didn't step in. The door was open, and she hugged me and said to say thank you to all of you. So I encourage you guys to leave messages down below, the walk that I did yesterday. It was an hour and 30 minutes. Leave messages for Justina. She will be reading them because I gave her the link. She has a YouTube account, and she has done live YouTubes. So not many. She did a YouTube video upload from the cemetery at her son's gravesite just recently, but she does have a YouTube account, so she will be watching. And I want to say thank you to all of you, because you guys left such great comments and beautiful hearts, blue hearts, and prayer emojis throughout that whole broadcast. So I commend you guys, and I want to say thank you. But again, this breaking news: Gannon Stauch, his stepmom is arrested for first-degree murder, and just a terrible, terrible situation. Winky, thank you for that picture. I did receive it. Michelle Vogel, great to see you. You have too many friends, DutyRon. There you go. It's good. It's a good problem to have. It's good to have too many friends. It's a good problem to have. Cruz Boston, thank you so much. Yeah, I was exhausted. I was really, really exhausted. But I'm saying from me to you guys, a special thank you. I tip my cap. I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I did it in one of my stories last night. I was exhausted when I did that story, but I said special thank you to all of you guys, because you guys are awesome. You guys are the cream of the crop. You guys are top notch, and I really, really, you guys have no idea how much I appreciate the love and support that you have exhibited and shown towards me and towards all victims that I cover in my crime cases that I cover here. And I do it with the most respectful. I do it in the most respectful way that I know how. I may not be perfect. I'm not perfect. I know I'm not perfect. I do mess up. I do make mistakes. Thank you, Michael. I do make mistakes because I'm a human being just like everybody else. I'm not a machine. I will make mistakes. And when I do find that I made a mistake, I will I will restate it in the proper way. So, what you're getting from me is the most human ex-law enforcement professional that you can get here on YouTube. What I'm giving you is myself. I'm giving you my knowledge, my experience that I've had in the law enforcement community, and I'm trying to pay it forward and pass it forward to you guys, so that behind the badge and behind all law enforcement is a human being. They're not machines, and we're not monsters. There are bad ones out there, and you guys know when there are bad ones, I talk about it. So guys, I'm going to leave you with a lot of love and respect from my house to yours. Subscribe and follow me, all one word, DutyRon. Hit the notification bell and give me a thumbs up. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all one word, DutyRon, I say thank you. And to everyone who leaves messages down below and sends me DMs and things of that nature, I really, really appreciate that as well. So guys, I'll talk to you soon. Love and respect from me to you, and I will catch you on the next one. So let's leave a little prayer emojis and some blue hearts for Gannon. May he continue to rest in peace and his family find peace through justice. He heard his mother in the news conference say, "We want justice," right? Thank you, Michael. His mom said in the news conference she wants justice. So let's stand together with her as her family finds justice for her poor son Gannon, 11-year-old who is unfortunately not going to be coming home. All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Peace and love.